What's going on, YouTube? Back at it with another true crime. Look, we got the case of Jennifer and Kristina Beard. I don't know what's up with the name Jennifer. I would not name my daughter that if I was y'all, because they end up getting kidnapped. I don't know why. Every Jennifer I know get kidnapped or they get like a stroke or something. This shit crazy. Like every Connor I know get cancer. I don't know a Connor that don't catch cancer or end up on like meth or something. I swear, like, this shit is getting wild, y'all. Like every like every Jasmine I know go through like a depression, like a deep ass depression. For real, this shit is it's in the books. It's in the books. Y'all gotta watch what y'all name y'all kids, because they gonna live up to them names, man. But yeah, man, before we get into this video, I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, turn them post notifications on, sit back, relax, fire up one of them good ones, and let's do it. On my mind.
Footage hides a disturbing secret. The couple cheering in the stands is Celeste and Stephen Beard. They are attending the high school graduation of their twin daughters, Jennifer and Kristina. Now, look closely at the woman sitting alone in front of them. Her name is Tracy Tarlton. From the outside, she looks supportive of the twins, clapping as they walk across the stage. But what the girls don't know is that just a few months before this footage was taken, Tracy was released from a psychiatric facility and has been meeting with their mother in secret, plotting a violent crime that will force the two teenagers to run for their lives.
She's very scary. There wasn't enough locks on the door for the two of us to feel safe.
We were scared to death. We thought she'd kill the girls.
You better get your home tonight. You understand that? Because if you don't, you will be sorry.
It's 1993. 13-year-old Kristina lives with her mom, Celeste, and her stepdad, Stephen, in Austin, Texas. While Jennifer, Kristina's identical twin sister, lives with their biological father, Craig, in Washington State. The twins' parents went through a lengthy custody battle after their divorce, which ended in the twins being separated between both parents. Living hundreds of miles away from each other was difficult for the girls because they were each other's best friends.
I missed her a lot. I missed Jen a whole lot. We were built-in friends with each other.
I would not know how to be a regular sibling. You know, it's always been nice to have someone that knows exactly what I'm going through.
Them niggas do look alike.
It's definitely hard not to have my...
She looked like somebody, but I don't know who. She play out like Harry Potter or some shit, like as a hobbit or something, an elf. Lord of the Rings. She play on Lord of the Rings. On my mama, she do. Like has one of the wise ass elves that work in like the library or some shit. That work in like the front desk.
Other half.
It's July 1996. After 3 years of living apart, the twins have finally planned a summer trip together, reuniting at their grandparents' house.
That sounds fun. July 1996.
They're really
that
excited
sounds like
because it's the first time they have seen each other
in
over 2 years.
My sister and I never skipped a beat.
Laughing so hard that we were
crying. They look the same, bro.
And I just couldn't believe that we were actually back together again.
However, things take a turn for the worse when Jennifer tries to call their father, Craig, to let him know they've arrived safely. But no one is picking up the phone. They keep trying to call, but still, no answer. After 2 days of not talking, the twins receive the news that their father has been found dead in his home, leaving behind a handwritten letter. He had been quietly struggling for years, leaving his daughters asking themselves why he would do this.
I felt like I died that day.
The twins are in a state of shock. What was supposed to be only a 2-week reunion turned into Jennifer suddenly moving in with Kristina, Celeste, and their new stepdad, Stephen Beard, in Austin, Texas. At first, she had a hard time adjusting to the change, but when she met Steve Beard, her new stepdad, he was surprisingly very welcoming and loving, showing a lot of attention to his new stepdaughter.
He's a pretty good guy, I guess.
When I first met Steve, he was just so sweet, which was a relief, you know, because he was technically my stepdad. On Sundays, it was really special because Steve and I would always go to breakfast together. I was very grateful to have his relationship.
After years of living together, the new blended family, from the outside, appears to be living a happy life.
Dang,
the
they don't even look like no crazy ass
senior year
family.
of high school, and they for once have a stable father figure. Stephen even formally adopted the twins, giving them each a special family ring.
He had always wore his.
He just gave it to us after he adopted us, and we thought it was the coolest thing.
I mean, I was definitely moved that he had this special ring made, and I mean, just the adoption alone, you know, I felt pretty connected to him.
But everything changes on October 2nd,
What?
1999.
Everything?
At 2:30 a.m.
I
Jennifer
thought he
is
was
staying with her
good.
boyfriend, while back at Steven's house, Kristina is asleep like any other night, when all of a sudden, Kristina's bedroom door swings open.
The lights turn on,
Don't tell
and my mom is running
Oh.
through the door saying, "Someone's at the door." And I'm like, what is going on here? I jump out of bed because she's in a panic, and I'm on my way to that front door when I see these white flashing lights.
Kristina is in a state of shock,
Oh.
not knowing who is outside or what they want, so she runs to the phone and calls 911 in a panic. The girl tells them that there is someone banging on their front door, and sirens are blaring outside, with lights
Sound like the
flashing all
police.
around their home. The 911 operator tells Kristina that the people outside are the police. Moments earlier, the dispatchers received this
what?
911 call from someone else inside the house.
These motherfuckers just... Someone's outside! There's someone outside! The mom retarded as hell. She crazy than a motherfucker. How you gonna run to your daughter room talking about there's someone banging at the door, someone banging at the door? That mean you in shock because you just did something crazy and you don't know what's going on. It's lights flashing. That's the police. You gonna call the police and they, hello? Yeah, this is us. Open the door, girl. Y'all, we got a call from here that somebody needed help. See? Motherfuckers is crazy. They crazy.
What is going on there?
I'm in bed.
How did
I'm in awful pain.
Okay, are you there by yourself?
My wife is somewhere in the house. I can't find her.
Kristina rushes to the front door to let the police inside.
Open the front door, and it's cops. And they're like, "Is your dad home?" And I said, "Yeah, he's upstairs."
Christina hurries to her stepfather's bedroom with the police, as her mother frantically runs behind them.
The paramedics, they were already working on Steve by the time myself and the police officer got into the room.
This was a man who needed immediate medical attention, and they needed to act quickly if he was going to survive.
The paramedics try to stabilize Steve, but he's losing a lot of blood, while they scramble to transport him to the hospital as quickly as possible. One of the
Losing
police
blood.
officers makes a shocking discovery, a shotgun shell on the ground next to his bed.
I'm like, "What? Are you telling me he was shot?" And they said, "Yes." And I just couldn't believe it.
Kristina calls her sister and tells her what is happening, as Steve is airlifted to the nearest hospital.
Just couldn't
She
believe
didn't hear that shotgun
he
go
just
off?
said. I'm panicked. I'm definitely panicked.
Back at the Beard household, the crime scene is blocked off as investigators conduct their initial walkthrough. It seems like someone went through a side door, which was left unlocked, and went up to Steve's bedroom to fatally shoot him. But before they can start investigating their theory, they need to take DNA swabs of everything, including all
Probably
family
was that
members who
other
could have
bit.
been in the house at the time of the crime: Kristina, Jennifer, and their mom, Celeste.
So at that point, I'm shocked that first off,
So
Steve
where
had
was
been
you
shot,
at
but
when
I
he
wouldn't
get
have
shot?
even thought who could have done it. I was
Where
wondering
was
if
your
it was
antennas when they
burglar
was
or
shooting
random,
at me?
But as soon as we walked out of the house, Celeste whispers to me, "If the police ask you who might have done this, don't mention Tracy's name."
Why would Celeste say don't mention Tracy's name?
Yeah, why would you even tell
Tracy
your kids
Tarlton.
that? That's the first time
6
think who
months
did
before
it.
the night of the attack, Celeste met 45-year-old Tracy. She was the manager of a local bookstore in Austin and had recently become close friends with Celeste. She would often get invited.
You see? That's why I'm telling y'all, y'all gotta treat everybody with respect that you meet. You don't know who the fuck you meeting. The manager at the library. Every time I go to the library, it's a motherfucker in there that look like, just like this till this day. And I think she just the weirdest motherfucker ever. And I just be like, oh, hey, you know, here 10 cents, I need to print something off. Yeah, this motherfucker's a murderer. Cold-blooded. Walk up in your shit. Pow! Not drive by. Not none of that. Nigga, walk up in you, look you dead in your eye. Pooh! Kids, nobody hear it in the house and get up out of there. With a shotgun. Damn. Motherfucker's good.
by the twins' mom for
But not
dinner
good enough.
and
He ain't
birthday
die.
parties, and
I don't
even
think.
attended their high school graduation.
They had this weird friendship.
I just remember thinking that this lady wants more from our mom than
Shit.
I just remember thinking
That lady fucking your mama. Straight up. They more than friends. That lady fucking your mama. They trying to get rid of your husband, get that money, and take care of y'all. Or kill y'all too. I don't know. But definitely fucking your mama. 100%. I know that look. Yep. All up. She's laughing like grinning.
It's more from
Loving
my mom than just a platonic relationship.
The twins are on their way to the hospital as they try to understand what's happening. They are confused because they were told by their mother not to mention Tracy, but that only raises suspicions in their mind.
I was thinking maybe she's protecting Tracy because she thought it was Tracy.
After getting to the hospital and talking to the detectives, they asked me, who do I believe shot my father? And I said, my mom doesn't want me to mention this, but I'm not supposed to say Tracy Tarlton.
Tracy Tarlton is investigated, and
Snitch.
her closeness to the Beard family makes her the prime suspect.
Mom probably was like,
But
you
something is
snitch
off.
bitch.
Without any clear motive, detectives have suspicions that someone else is involved.
There was no reason for Tracy to do this completely on her own.
Police quickly obtain a search warrant for Tracy Tarleton's house based on compelling evidence. A 20-gauge shotgun shell and the very bullet that had wounded Stephen Beard. They then proceeded to Tracy Tarleton's home and knock on her front door.
Miss Tarlton was asked if she owned a shotgun. She said yes. I asked if I could see it. She thought for a few minutes and she said, okay, you can see it. She gave us a Franchi 20-gauge shotgun. Had her name inscribed on the weapon itself.
Law enforcement take possession of the shotgun, bringing it in for further analysis. Days
Bitch
go
took
by,
the gun
and everyone is
home.
left waiting for news from the investigators, until finally, the detectives have the results.
And that shotgun turns out to be the shotgun from which the bullet that injured Mr. Beard was fired from.
October
Dumbass.
9th.
What kind of dumbass shit was that, Tracy? Bitch gonna take it to the house like they not gonna come here. Nigga, you probably left your footprints and everything in the backyard.
1999, 5 days after the shooting of Stephen Beard, Tracy Tarleton is arrested and charged with attempted murder. But investigators are not satisfied. Tracy is refusing to talk about why she did this, and they know there's more to this story than they have so far. Detectives continue to ask questions because they believe Tracy did not act alone, and there might be someone else responsible who currently walks free, but she remains completely silent. Meanwhile, Stephen is in the hospital, and after a painful
That nigga
few
look
months
like
of
he'll
fighting with the twins
bake a
by his
pizza
side,
from scratch.
Steve passes away from his injuries related to the shooting.
Damn, my
We
nigga
love
died.
Steve. He never wanted us to worry about anything. He just wanted us to be loved and enjoy our lives.
Coming from Washington State, losing my father, he filled that role for me that I'll never forget.
I love
As
you,
the
Daddy.
sisters try to cope with their father's death, they are only left with pain and more questions than ever. Why would someone want to hurt him? Their mother Celeste tries to be there for them and goes with the girls to prepare for the funeral and buy a casket for him, but the twins never expected what would happen next.
A lot of crying's going on. We just lost a loved one.
And while we were there, she purchased 2 pink caskets for Jen and I. And she's like, I'm gonna get these for you guys.
What?
The confusing part to me was Celeste suggesting that 18-year-olds needed to pick out a casket. And in the back of my mind, I thought, well, am I going in this casket soon?
Local newspapers and television
Immediately
networks
would've
start
thought that.
publishing the
Bitch,
story,
what,
and
Mom?
everyone starts to worry that the real killer might still be walking free. But without any concrete evidence, the investigators are at a standstill. In the midst of it all, the twins notice their mom's behavior is becoming increasingly disturbing
You
and
gonna
erratic.
shoot your
We're all
kids?
crying, and Celeste
Twins?
is just laughing.
She kind of had like these crazy eyes.
Kind of manic, very loud and emotional, but didn't really seem real.
But things reach a breaking point on February 16, 2000, when no one could imagine what was in store for 2 young twins.
She then said, hey, why don't we all kill ourselves?
And all of a sudden,
Oh
she
yeah,
pulls
she
out a knife.
crazy.
She's holding it like this, and she goes to like kind of lunge.
She just stabs herself in the leg.
Blood starts gushing everywhere.
Oh, she was psychotic. And she had them demons in her. She had them demons in her. Drinking that liquor. Smoking them tweeds. Them demons done got in her. She was out fucking.
I was just like, what is happening?
The twins call 911 in a panic, begging for immediate medical attention for their mom. As the ambulance arrives, the paramedics rush to start working on Celeste, attempting to stop the bleeding from her leg. The girls are in a state of shock as their mom is quickly brought into an ambulance and driven to the closest hospital. Over the next weeks, while still in the hospital, Celeste continuously calls
she was
both
on them
sisters,
drugs.
becoming more and more unhinged and disturbing.
And she's yelling and screaming at me over the phone.
Would go from normal to screaming, back to normal.
That's when Kristina has an idea
Schizophrenic,
that will later
bipolar.
give investigators the evidence they need to finally uncover Steve Beard's real murderer.
That I thought, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start recording her conversations because I want to play them back to her, and she'll then hear, like, from my perspective what I'm hearing and think, oh, that's awful. I can't believe I do that.
And you will be sorry.
But then, just as Kristina is
Damn.
about to stop recording, Celeste exposes a crucial piece of evidence that will change the investigation forever.
She says, I hired somebody to kill Tracy. I froze.
What?
It made it all real, and it made it all unsafe.
And they
The
doing
twins
this
are
for real.
terrified, realizing that the
Y'all worrying about black people hiring people to kill people. Oh, black people killing everybody. Nigga, it's white women in a nice neighborhood hiring people to kill people. And they got the money. Like, nigga, we broke. We go anti-Negro or just be like, fuck, man, that nigga just killed my cousin and just can't do shit about it. He ain't got no money, broke ass nigga. Yeah. Damn. I gotta watch who the fuck y'all got beef with.
The pink coffins she bought,
Might be
the
a white
recurring
lady
bizarre and
that's
violent
schizophrenic,
outbursts,
bipolar.
the suspicious death of their father, and now her murder plot for Tracy are all leading to one thing. They will be next on her list.
Hearing that sealed it for me. Like, any sort of doubt that I ever had that Celeste was involved with our father's murder, I don't have anymore.
And things get worse from here on. Their mom has been released from the hospital, and now the twins are in more danger than ever. At that moment, Jennifer and Kristina's last chance to survive is to go into hiding and make sure their mom can't find them.
I cleared out my bank account for Kristina and I to go on the run and not have any trace. We stayed in motels. Everything we did with cash. Celeste was trying to find us every day, trying to find us. All I kept replaying in my head was we are in danger. It was definitely terrifying. Like, we're not
running
coming
from your
home
mama?
from this.
As Celeste is on the hunt
And
for
you
her
two
daughters,
twins,
the
like,
twins, armed with
duh,
taped
we seen them
conversations
earlier.
of their mother's threats, go to the police to obtain a family violence protective order, which is granted. However, their suspicions of their mother's involvement in their stepdad's death can only be confirmed by one person, Tracy Tarlton.
This whole entire time, Tracy was keeping her silence, that she acted in this alone.
Tracy, who was in prison awaiting a trial for her role in Steve's murder, kept silent until March 2002, when she reads that the twins received a family violence protective order against their mother in the newspaper. In that moment, she breaks her silence and decides to cooperate with investigators, revealing to detectives the truth
Tracy
behind her
done killed
motive,
people
what
before.
investigators have been waiting to hear since the night of the murder, that she did not kill Steve on her own, but in fact, it was Celeste's plan all along. Now, with Tracy's crucial statement and the twins' incriminating audio recordings, investigators finally have enough evidence to arrest Celeste for capital murder on March 28, 2002.
What you
However, just because Celeste is arrested doesn't mean a jury will find her guilty.
I felt like if she doesn't go to jail, I was going to be living underground forever. And I wasn't going to feel safe until she was in jail. With her on the street,
For your kids to say that
nobody's
is
safe.
crazy.
The twins begin to work with prosecutors, lawyers, and she never gets out of prison. February 3rd, 2003, the trial begins of Celeste Beard. In front of their own mother, the sisters need to take the stand.
I felt like I don't want to be in the same room with her. I was afraid, oh my gosh, how do I stay strong enough to not waver?
Worst thing I've ever had to do in my life is see Celeste staring back at me when I had to sit on or had to do in.
Her mom look like she eat weird shit. Like cheese and Brussels sprouts and shit. Like, you know, just like some off the wall shit. You like, what the fuck are you snacking on that for? Like hummus and Ritz crackers and shit. Like, ugh. The fuck? You just eating hummus with a spoon? That shit wicked.
In my life, is see Celeste staring back at me when I had to sit on
celery and raw
the stand
egg
and testify to everything that I knew she did. I was conflicted because she's my mom, but I just wanted to make sure that Steve got justice.
The twins describe that throughout all their lives, their mom has had severe mental health problems, causing violent outbursts and an overall traumatizing childhood.
Growing up, her emotions were all over the place. There was a lot of yelling and screaming and nasty phone calls. It seemed normal to us.
Jennifer reveals that when Celeste married 69-year-old retired TV executive and multimillionaire Steve Beard, it wasn't out of love, but it was to gain access to his large inheritance.
I didn't know that nigga was a multimillionaire. Yeah, he definitely was trying to get that bag.
She said that she married
was
Steve
finna run
for
off with
money.
Tracy.
Did she tell you about what would happen if Steve Beard died? That she would get it all. She would say, why wouldn't he die already? Did it appear that she was looking forward to that, or? Yes.
Investigators uncovered that after only 6 months of marriage, Celeste had spent over $500,000 of her husband's money, secretly buying all kinds of clothes, jewelry, and artwork. The twins even noticed that Celeste had put sleeping pills in Steve's food on multiple occasions, and once he fell asleep, she would sneak out of the house. In February 1999, 8 months before Stephen Beard's murder, Celeste also had a psychotic breakdown, taking a gun, pointing it at her own head, and threatening Kristina's life. Because of that incident, she had to be forcibly checked into the St. David's Psychiatric Mental Hospital in Austin, Texas. While staying at the psychiatric facility, that's when Celeste met Tracy Tarlton. Their mother quickly started to show her a lot of attention, spending time with her, and ultimately
they met
developing
at the
a close
crazy house? They was both... Oh. Two crazy ass friends meeting at the crazy house to do some crazy shit for some little bit of money and didn't get nothing but caught. Once again, you nigga shuck.
Intimate relationship. After building all that trust, Celeste's real plan can be put into action. She could now manipulate Tracy.
She expressed to me that she wanted the sexual relationship with me, which I also wanted.
Celeste had been setting up Tracy, saying, Steve is abusive to me. He's so horrible. And Tracy believed that Celeste was really in trouble.
Celeste Beard, I don't think ever loved, maybe didn't even like Tracy Tarlton, but she was willing to engage in a lesbian relationship in order to get what she wanted.
I just saw this woman that I loved in a desperate situation, trying to find a way to survive this man that was so awful.
And bitch, you still in the motherfucking wrong, bitch, because you didn't even know the truth. You didn't even bother to, like, look in the window one night to see how this man act, go talk to this man and walk, just, you know, like stalk him in. As soon as you go to Walmart or something, to get out and talk to him, just have a conversation with him, you know, pick his brain, see what type of person he is. You just straight up was like, I love you, I'm gonna kill him. Lock this motherfucker up, because she's crazy too. That's what I'm saying. Some people you gotta punch in the face where you let them explain themselves, because they try to put words out there to make you feel bad for them. No, motherfucker, you's a cold-blooded killer. You killed an innocent motherfucker. You killed a good person. Get your dumb ass back in that cell.
I have this man that was so awful.
Hoochie.
Celeste said to Tracy, I cannot live any longer with this abusive husband. But Steve wasn't abusive.
That's when, in front of the twins and the jury, Tracy describes Celeste's plan for the murder of her husband.
You know, she says, oh man, he's gonna die soon, but not soon enough. She had a plan, and she wanted me to shoot him with my shotgun. So we were to enter the grounds, where to park, and then we walked through how I would exit my car, where I would enter the house, how I would approach the bedroom. I walked down to the end of the building, and I saw him, and I pulled up, and I shot him. Shot him once. I shot him once.
The courtroom stays quiet after the shocking revelation. Celeste coldly watches Tracy on the stand, shaking her head and even laughing occasionally, but her smile disappears when her own daughters walk up to the front of the courtroom and now have their turn of revealing one of the most incriminating pieces of evidence they have, the audio recording of her murder plot against Tracy, as well as her constant threats to the girls.
On the tapes, she was histrionic. It was difficult to think that any mother would talk to a child that way.
The trial went on for weeks, until on March 19, 2003, after deliberating for 3 days, the jurors finally come back with their answer. This will finally determine if Celeste will remain in prison for the murder of her husband, or if she will walk free to forever haunt the twins for their whole lives.
Before we bring this for life.
You ain't got no
Finally,
parents
the
now.
sisters
Everybody
get justice for their father's murder, and to conclude the trial, Kristina bravely takes a stand once more, but this time to directly speak to her mother and put an end to the fear she has been living with for over 2 years.
What did I ever do to you except love you? And this is how you treated us, like trash. You say we turned on you, but you turned on us. He turned on the whole Beard family. He let you into his home, loved you, honored, obeyed you, and you violated him and murdered him.
Man, I hope they got
are
some money for
guilty.
themselves from that nigga. Cause
Shame on you.
Damn.
Celeste Beard is
Yeah, they
sentenced
really
to 2
lost
consecutive
everything.
40-year prison terms, and she won't have the possibility of parole until she's 79 years old.
Oh,
The
you're
twins
dying
can
in there.
finally breathe a sigh of relief,
She
as
definitely
now
died.
they don't need to stay in hiding.
She probably
they
swole.
can live their lives to the fullest. After court is adjourned, Tracy asks to meet with the twins and apologizes to them directly for the pain she has caused the sisters.
I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, is sit in a room with the person that actually pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
She said that she felt really guilty for killing our father and that she was really sorry. I remember that.
She thought she was agreeing to kill an evil man. I feel really bad for her. I could really relate with the fact that she was a victim here too.
The twins say that
but
for them, the
bitch,
sincere
you was
moment of
crazy.
forgiveness helped them begin their long process of healing. Now, 20 years after the trial, their sisterly bond only became stronger.
I have Kristina. Like, Kristina's my strength. We don't live close to each other, but any chance we can get to go visit each other, we will.
The twins are now 42 years old. Jennifer has a good job, which she enjoys, and spends her time focusing on her mental health. Kristina got married and is a loving mother of 2 children. She is proud to give her kids the life, attention, love, and nurturing she never received growing up.
I'm being the mom that I wanted.
They get to do life like I wish I got to.
That's part of parenting.
Celeste never expected that her
about.
downfall would come from her
I ain't
own
no parent
daughters.
yet,
And
but
even though it took
you give your
years for
kids that
Jennifer
life
and
that you
Kristina to
wanted,
heal from the wounds created
doing
by their
your
mom,
thing.
they show that their love for each other is
Even if
stronger
you're
than
not,
their
bro, you
mother's
still doing
hatred.
your thing.
Living their best lives, spending quality time together with their loving families is their best revenge. They're living proof that even after tragedy, there's a life worth living.
Hey, in the memory of Stephen Beard, R.I.P. But yeah, man, that's gonna be the end of this video, man. I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, turn them post notifications on, and basically, constructively, meticulously, shimbaconally, yeah, stop killing people. Basically what I'm gonna say. Stop killing motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be sitting here watching this right here. Just cold-blooded out here murdering. That shit wild. There's some crazy motherfuckers out here, man. Y'all be easy. Stay safe. Peace.